You're listening to 3CR 855 AM.
So 3CR is one of the oldest community radio stations in Australia, and it started as a grassroots community radio station to give voice to communities that wouldn't otherwise be heard on radio.
Well, it's the thing about a community house is that we are here for the whole community, but with a particular focus on people with disabilities.
The Boomerang Network are a mental health peer support program, and they're run by people with disabilities. I help them out with funding applications and some guidance from time to time when it's needed, but they're a very important part of Farnham Street Neighbourhood Learning Centre.
CFA is not just about fighting fires. We have a number of members with disability and without disability undertaking a range of different roles. Anything from finance, administration, fundraising, communications, incident management, community education, peer support, the list goes on.
Lord Smith is a community-facing hospital. Our clients come from all sorts of backgrounds and places with all sorts of animals. Our volunteers are also really diverse and come with a whole extraordinary array of skills and knowledge and experience, and I think that's what makes it a really rewarding place for volunteers and staff alike.
3CR is a volunteer-led station, so we have around 400 volunteers at any one time delivering our shows all through the week and 24 hours a day. And so we have people with disability who are programmers, panellists, producers, and also people who volunteer around the station doing admin tasks or fundraising, and obviously even people on air as well, so talent.
I never imagined I could do radio, but 3CR were really welcoming and happy for me to present using my iPad. I've become a lot more confident since I've been volunteering at 3CR.
We do a lot of work with our volunteers on working safely, whether it's in laundry, cattery or kennels, because there are dangers in all those areas. It's a very active place, Lord Smith.
We have people working at our reception who live with disabilities. The garden that we're sitting in was a bit of a mess when we moved into the building, but we have a bunch of volunteers and quite a few of those are living with disabilities. This garden provides a fabulous space for that work.
I love learning about different herbs and how a garden is set up. I'm planning to volunteer here for quite a while, and the other volunteers are great and they're helpful.
Phil's issue is that he can't hear very well, profoundly deaf, so we have increased the volume of the phones as much as we can, and he manages that okay, but what we have done is provided a whole heap of meaningful roles for Phil to work around, and he loves that.
Which could be odd jobs around the town, or just computer stuff that doesn't involve listening.
We never turn people away. We ask people what they're interested in, what they can do, rather than ask the question, well, what can't you do?
CFA is working to be an organisation that is accessible and inclusive of all members of our community.
Nothing's been a problem. I've always been doors opened, I don't get into the trucks, or if I had to get into the smaller slip-on for juniors, I'd be helped to get in there as well. So it's such a great brigade that's, never ever seen me with a disability. They've just helped me as much as they can.
I have been a volunteer for 2 years. I have a support worker help me when I volunteer. I love to help animals and to play with dogs and kittens.
So it's really important that volunteers do the role that they love. For Danny, the laundry role was perfect. She really likes it. It works for her, and it's such an essential job for the hospital.
People who have in our group a lived experience with mental illness, they can connect with their peers and not have that stigma, not have to worry about being judged for their mental illness. And I'm proud to be part of the network.
So if your organisation is wanting to engage more with people with disability, a couple of the ways that 3CR have found works best is to reach out to some like-minded organisations in the disability sector who might be able to work with you on projects. That's a really good way of bringing in lots of people. But really one of the best ways is to talk to your own community until you say to your community, we value the lived experience of people with disability and we want to hear from you. You probably won't know who in your community has disability or has lived experience. So put out the call and say, we value that voice, and then you move on from there together. That's the best way to do it.